Good. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Mystical Mystique Live TV. A little hiccup there with a countdown. First time it's done that on the countdown, but anyway, that's life in the fast lane. Welcome to Hump Day, Wednesday, 28th of October, 8 p.m. Sydney Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So I'm just going to wait a little bit for people to jump on. I can see there's a couple of comments coming through. Janina, thank you so much for joining. She's my little soul sister. Beautiful lady. She is also another psychic. And we work a few venues together, including the Royal Easter Show. Cancelled this year. We will be back next year. So keep that in mind. That's from the 1st of April, from memory, 1st or 2nd of April till the 12th. We'll be going ahead, full steam ahead. Of course, unless COVID decides to do something crazy again. But having said that, we're not going to put that out there. We're just going to leave that one. So I'm just going to pop up a few comments while a little bit of housework is done. Thank you, Janina. Love you dearly. Hello, Jenny. I hope you're feeling a bit better today. And Stella, thank you. I'm sure we'll be having a fabulous night here tonight. So, as I said, with a little bit of housekeeping, if you'd like to do me a favour and like and share the feed, that way many other people will be able to tune in and possibly get, something out of the evening. We'll be here for about 2 hours tonight. Last week I went just on 3, and I think it was just too long, bit too, yeah. I'm not so sure that 3 hours is great for a live. It was probably beneficial to many. And I'm pleased I was able to do that. But in hindsight, I think maybe 3 hours is a bit too long. But anyway, we'll see how we go. We'll see how the questions keep rolling in. Lola, thank you. Rain in the Redland. Yeah, we had some rain the weekend, Sunday, Monday, today, and yesterday wasn't too bad. Yesterday morning it bucketed down, but yeah. Hello, Desley. Yes, I'm very well. I hope you are well too. Now, this is going to be a bit of a tongue twist, isn't it? Skelly. I'll probably pronounce that wrong, but I'm sure you'll let me know. It's obviously afternoon for you. That's another thing. I mean, I know my regulars, I know where some of you are from, but any newbies, if you want to let me know where you're tuning in from, where you're watching from, and certainly what the time is from where you are, that'd be fantastic. It's always good to know. Hello, beautiful Jacqueline. I hope you're well. And yeah, shame about the shop, but COVID has messed up a few people. There's certain things that have gone on that a lot of people aren't happy with, including myself. But we certainly can't change it. I'm just going to change the branding a bit because I think it's just a bit too big. You see more of me. I mean, I don't know if people want to do that or not, but anyway, that's okay. Desley, yes, I will get to you in a second. I'm just sort of saying good evening to everybody. Oh, you're bad, are you? Because you're on the Gold Coast. Well, I guess it's, you said good afternoon, so that kind of threw me a bit. So wouldn't it still be good evening because it'll be 7 o'clock there right now? But yeah. But again, if you can please like and share, so many more people can certainly get some value out of this evening. So I'm just going to pop back to Desley. I was just going to say in the housekeeping, and I did put it up on the feed when I posted it early today, if the questions can be quite specific, because, if you've got something that you want an answer to, how about just shooting me the question when you're saying, you know, have you got, and there's no disrespect, like I'm not angry that you've said that, don't get me wrong, but it's just because it's a live feed, it just flows better if we can just sort of like, you know, go through questions. So please jump back in and certainly let me know, like, you know, if you have a burning question, if you have a burning desire for something to be answered, it would be really great if you could do that. I'd appreciate that a lot. Okay. So I'm just going to jump back here. Thank you for liking and sharing, Nita. That's fabulous. I'm very well, thank you. And this is from my heavenly family tonight, please. Thank you, sweet. I'm just going to wait a minute for Spirit to jump in because, as I was just saying to the other lady, it's really nice to get specific questions. Because then you get a direct answer from what you're actually looking for, rather than me. Because I mean, when I do private readings, like, you know, people book in for 30 minutes, you know, and an hour, and even in an hour, like, all their questions aren't answered. So it's really good if you can just, if you have a burning question, you know, please jump back in. We certainly with your question. So I know you're in Melbourne. Okay, and I know the shop's open. I believe there was I say it in jest when I say like a stampede at Kmart. I believe people lined up for hours for Kmart to open their doors and let them all in, and people were just buying trolley loads. It was just, and they interviewed a few people, and they're saying they're buying a lot of jocks, which I thought was quite funny. Brie, I can see you that you've jumped into from the Central Coast. Thank you so much. Can you also, you've just asked if there's anything for you. Can you please ask a specific question? It's just far easier and far better for those, just to keep it running a bit smoothly. Thank you so much. Have we got a person already that wants to interfere with my night? But anyway, okay. Yeah, Stella, I just got rid of the troll one already. I think out of last week there was about 8 that I ended up getting rid of overnight. The next morning it was just driving me nuts. And yeah, as I said last week, people haven't got anything better to do. Okay, I'm going to go back to, because now the questions are coming in thick and fast. Yes, Jenny, I blocked the troll already. I got rid of them. Because that's what people do. Alison, good evening. Thank you for joining. If you've got some question or got a question, if you can please send that through, that'd be great. Jacqueline. Well, do you know what? The old facade of, you know, and I don't like to be basic in the sense of, you know, one door closes, another one open. But with you, you know, you have a personality that I would think that a lot of people would snap up. I mean, you're very good with the public, and I'm damn sure that something certainly is going to pop up for you. And I want to say to you, actually, it's already in the limelight. I think you already know what it is. And I think you've had, I won't say that you've had your eye on it, but I think at first it was all, you know, like when COVID hit, it was all a bit much, especially with the store closing. But I think, you know, I think you put the feelers out. And I think someone has already, I don't want to say come to your rescue, but I think that there's already something in that limelight, certainly waiting for you. I'd give it a couple of weeks, though, because I think you need a bit of a breather. And I think all will be fab. I'm in southwest Sydney, shared, even on the western, even they are 3 hours behind. I know. See, we've got daylight saving, and there's a few people that are behind, you know, are behind. Sorry, trolls. Okay. Let me have a look at this. Is my past loved one here with me? I recently lost my close cousin. Do you know what? I want to say that your cousin was more like a direct sibling. It's more about coming through as what Spirit is showing me is almost like sisters skipping down a pathway, giggling and carrying on, right? And that's not to say that, either one of you is childish, but it is coming through in a female form. And that's not to say that, a male can have a female rising. Having said that, though, I am leaning more towards the femininity of it all. But when Spirit shows me that two people are skipping down a path, that's virtually to say that, and you're saying cousin, that's virtually them saying, you are more like blood family. You kind of tune into one another. Not that you can answer one another's questions, but I do think that some of that goes on. And I think that's where the humor comes into it for you guys. But it's more about the trust that you had in one another. You could tell one another absolutely anything. There was absolutely no judgment whatsoever. And I have to be drawn to it's almost like I don't want to say a yellow handbag, because it's not quite as big as a handbag as such, but it's not as small as a wallet. So there's something yellow that seems to, one of you carried it around quite a bit. So one of you has carried this yellow wallet / bag, but there seems to be more than just valuables in it. So I'm just wondering what that is. If you can clarify that for me, that'd be great, because showing me the skipping, showing me the laughter, showing me this orange yellow object, and as well, like, sun shining and happiness is all in the yellow color as well. And I also want to say to you that there was yellow flowers around towards the end as well. And if that was flowers that were held at the funeral, or something was on a I don't want to say poster, but a picture or something on a video, something in yellow, because that seems to be very, very significant at what's coming through. I want to say to you that everything is okay. And there's times where, with the greatest respect, there is times when I think that you go to bed that you wonder if you're heard. You'll wonder if that communication line is there, because I don't think that you are fully embracing what you're hearing back. I think that part of you is kind of not judging yourself, but it's almost like, you're saying, oh, maybe I'm hearing what I want to hear and not necessarily what I think I'm hearing, if that makes sense. So again, if you can jump in and let me know, that'd be fantastic, because I just feel that beautiful sisterly love is there, and look, that's never going to go away. It's never it's never going to dull its sparkle, if that's the way of saying it for you, because heartstrings together, but the trust and the communication is very, very strong. And more so, I want to say to you that because of that, through growing up and things like that, it will actually be easier for you to connect and actually if you want to sit and meditate and ask for to come in, you will hear. You'll certainly hear. And I hope that helps you, Bree. And just let me know. Yes, Stella, it was a troll. There was 2 already, only a few minutes in and we get 2 already. So maybe they're just waiting in the wings. Maybe they've got nothing better to do. But that's okay. Candy, welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight. And also, too, for anyone that is watching, whether you've been here before or whether you're new tonight, I always work on my own. So if somebody actually, because I did get a message for the week where somebody actually responded to one of the trolls last week and they'll instantly ask for money. So I work on my own. So if the messages come from Mystique or if it's come from Robin, on one of my other pages, that is always going to be me. But there's always the association with Mystique. There are people that jump on these live feeds and say, inbox me for a thorough reading or whatever they say. And the minute you do, A, they can trash your Facebook page, but B, they will ask you for money. The very first thing they do. So please don't be please don't kind of jump into that, okay? So Candy, I want to come back to you and virtually say that you feel, how do I say this? You feel like your luck's run out, and there is so much that you were planning to do that hasn't gone to, how can I say it? That hasn't really gone to plan. but you're still embracing certain things that are going on with your everyday life. Now, the things that you had in mind to bring forward to actually do, they will come ahead. Well, Dad says they will come a cropper, but that's the opposite, because I'm saying they will go ahead, but coming a cropper means that there's a kind of rift in the driveway, is the old saying of that. But to me, it seems like that a few ideas that you had earlier on in this year have to be put on hold. And they're put on hold for obvious reasons. But I want to say to you that Dad knows certain things. Like, he knows certain things of where you're headed with a few things, but he wants you to not give up, because they will come to a point where you will be able to expand on these certain things. And he's saying there's a book that you write in, and whether that's your journal that you write things in every day, or it's actually a different book where you're writing ideas in, because to me you have this creative spark that when you think of something, you write it down, but then you look at it later and you embrace and you enhance it even more, and you add things to it. And this is you kind of saying, do you know what, I can see the bigger picture. I want to say to you that through COVID, you lost that bigger picture, because I think that some of the ideas that you had could not come to the forefront. And Dad knows that. And it's all about, Dad saying, when you were younger, you strived on getting things done. And the important part that he's trying to bring through is don't give up, because he's saying you've got some fabulous ideas. And those ideas need to be seen and they need to be heard. So he's saying, don't give up. And virtually saying that, you know what he's talking about. With a bit of a cheeky grin on his face, which is quite cute. Really loving energy, I have to say. Really loving energy that came through with that one. Okay. Okay. Okay, in your choices, Desley, welcome and thank you for your question. I actually want to say to you that when you're, I think the people that are on here that know me well, that they know I say everything with respect, but they also know I say everything, from my heart. So if I sound like I lecture sometimes, please don't take it that way. I have to sort of bring it forward as I hear it. And I'm virtually getting told with you, Desley, that when you're a child, you seem to think that you weren't being heard. And there was times when even at school, the hand would always go up. And even though that you got to say your piece, I think that you still thought straight away that people weren't listening to you. And I believe that trait still follows you today. And I really want you to kind of swing that around somehow and say, do you know what? I am being heard. Because the more that you're saying, no one's hearing me, I'm not being heard, you're actually asking the universe to kind of present the situations in that way. So part of me wants to say that, I actually have an elderly woman who's kind of pointing the finger at me saying, as much as you thought as a child that you weren't being heard, sometimes you were heard, but I don't want to say it, but, almost ignored, because some things were just chatter, chatter, chatter. So you're a very good speaker, a very good talker, and I say that with respect, but it's more about calm some of the chatter in your mind, because this elderly lady I have, and I'm sure she's your grandmother. She's not your mother, because she presents in a grandmother way. And I want to say to you that is carrying, not that she's knitting in front of me, but she's carrying some sort of, I'm not sure if it's actually knitting or crocheting, because she's kind of got it rolled up and in a particular bag that presents to me like it's a knitting bag. It's almost like, I've stopped doing this just to jump in for you. But she's saying, stop having so much chatter in your mind, because, when you've made this decision, you have pondered over it for a little bit. But the longer you have pondered on it, it's more about too many people now are jumping in with their opinions. So now you're getting a whole mixed bag of opinions. And when you've got so many opinions and all this chatter, now you're questioning yourself, you're doubting yourself. Allow the universe to hear what you want to put out, because you will get your answer. I think that you have made the right choice myself. I feel from grandma, that the smile and everything that I'm getting, I feel that you have made the right choice. Stop coming back to that, that young girl that seems to doubt herself or to feel like that, you haven't been heard, because I think that you certainly have on this occasion. And I probably want to say to you that there's 2 or 3 people that have thrown a negative spin on it. Please don't listen to everything you hear. Open your heart and ask the question again to the universe, okay? And I'm sure you're on the right path. So please let me know. That would be great. Hello, Joe. Any spirits come through for me? Can you ask me a specific question for what you're seeking answers for, not just necessarily what spirits are coming through? Because I have quite a few with me tonight, so I need to kind of, with all due respect, if there is a question that you're requiring guidance from one of those spirits, it would be lovely to know. I can already tell you that you have a it's going to sound weird. You have a burning desire to change something, but you're too afraid to change it. I have to be honest there. That's the first thing I heard. You know how to do this, and if you sit back saying that you can't change your circumstances or you can't do something, that's what the universe is going to throw at you. It's going to give you the like the bumps in the road for you to believe that you can't. Now, I believe you can. I believe there's a decision that you have to make very soon, and I think that's what you're seeking guidance on. Please let me know, because that's where I'm being guided, and I'm being guided for you. I also have an elderly woman here who seems to love pearls. So I have a lady that seems to love pearls that's sort of shaking her head at me, saying, you're on the right path. Stop being scared of change, because change is headed your way. I see it as a good change, but you need to focus more on you, and you need to believe in yourself a bit more, is what I hear. And even as a child, even when you played as a child, it was almost like if someone was at school and it was either netball, basketball, something to that effect, you believed that you couldn't score a goal. Go back to how you felt then, and go back to how you felt when you did score a goal, and let me know. Because I'm getting some cheeky spirits tonight, which is it's very cute. Hello, Topeka. Thank you for joining. It'd be nice to know where you're from. And just let me know. Di from Sydney. Good evening, Tique. Do you see me moving and buying a home? Di. Let me just have a quick squeeze. Okay. Okay. Di, I actually want to say to you that I see that you do, but I have to be brutally honest. I don't see anything till March or April next year. And it's more to the end of March, leading into that first week of April. So it's a time. It's a bit of a time off yet. But you're in two minds whether you move away and cross a border, or you just move a short way away. So Spirit is coming through with it's either crossing a border or it's a small distance away. In the vicinity of a small distance away, it's really weird, because Spirit is sort of saying, if we offer you that small step away, then why would you bother moving at all? But I think it's more about a particular area that maybe you thought that you would be happier in, and maybe you would feel a bit more settled, is what I hear there. However, I have my own spirit guide, my dad, jumping in and virtually saying, what's wrong with taking the leap of faith and going across the border? But to me, I think I feel that it would be a nice adventure, but I feel that you wouldn't like staying on the opposite side of the border, if that makes sense. Because I feel that just there's a lot around the area that you're in that is comfortable. There's probably only one or two things that are not comfortable, if that makes sense. So it's more about you kind of possibly writing things down, saying what are the pros and cons of actually moving, and the pros and cons of jumping the I don't know if they jumping the border, but yeah, Spirit shows me like a line. So it's a different state, going that far or staying put and embracing where you are. If that helps at all, it would be really great to know. Okay. We've got another. Man, they're thick and fast tonight. I've just seen someone by the name of Jay. That's again another hacker come person trying to get your money. Anyway, I think I've got rid of that one. So let me go back to some questions. It's funny how you just scroll down to see if anyone has answered anything, and then you come across a stalker. I said stalker then, well, I should have said something a bit different. Anyway, Sonia, I would love a little bit of guidance if possible. It's really hard at the minute. Sonia, I think that you're feeling trapped, and pardon the pun of that, because I know a lot of people are feeling trapped under the COVID banner, but I think this has got nothing to do with COVID. I kind of see you stuck in a couple of situations where part of you wants to really take a leap of faith, and the other part of you is scared, to be totally honest. And I think it's that scared bit that's put the fear factor in you that you don't want to take that jump. But to me, I kind of feel from Spirit that the jump is needed. And I don't say that lightly. It's almost like if you've been stuck for too long, and I'm not being shown a home as such. I'm being shown more of a work environment where I don't want to say that you're stuck in a situation that you can't get out of, because you actually can get out of it. But I don't think the timing is right for you. I don't think the timing is the flavour right now. I think there's still probably another couple of months that you, and sorry to say it, but a couple of months that you still have to suck it up. Because I say because Spirit is putting it to me. So I've got some cute spirits here tonight that have kind of like, saying things a bit different to what I would. I mean, sometimes I would say suck it up, but not necessarily in a reading. And it's more about, it's time to take that leap of faith, in here, because each time you've wanted to change something or wanted to attempt something bigger, that little fear factor, that little voice in your head that says, not so sure about this, oh, maybe we shouldn't, maybe we should, that's held you back each and every time. So I actually want you to try and suss out the good from the bad. It's when you kind of write all that down that you look at it and say, do you know what, that leap of faith is actually not as bad as what it seems. Because sometimes in here we just create bigger than Ben-Hur. Yeah. So I think that, take a step back, breathe a little bit, and kind of go through the motions, and stop saying I can't take that leap of faith. Start saying I can. I just might have to wait a little while, but I can do this. The more you say I can do this, it will be so much easier. Okay, so I hope that helps you, and let me know. Okay, Jennifer, I'm going to just come back to you in a second. Sorry, I'm just taking a little squeeze down the multitude. I want to thank everybody already for joining me tonight. There is so many messages that have come up here on the bottom, and I'm going to try and get to absolutely everybody I can, but I am doing them in order because I think that's fair. And we're here for a while, so we'll just mosey on through them all. Okay. Please like and share the page so others can grab some guidance. If anything resonates with them, that would be fantastic if you all do that. I'd truly appreciate that. Okay, Jennifer, love a spirit message. Anything from my mother? Let me have a look. Okay, Jennifer, the first thing I, before I even read any of the cards that I just pulled, the first thing I want to say to you is that you feel within your home, you feel quite restricted. I think that you feel like the walls are kind of not caving in, but the walls are surrounding you are getting thinner, if that makes sense. And part of that is COVID, but part of that is kind of you've tried, I think, a few times, and I need you to try it again with a bit of a different attitude, but you've tried to go through like a spiritual growth part. You've tried to listen to your gut feelings and that, but you seem to be blocked. So there's something that's actually blocking you from opening up yourself. And I want to say to you that, when Mum went, I know it broke your heart, but I know it broke your heart. However, it was Mum's time. Like, Mum really had to go, and part of her will always be with you, but she's virtually saying to you that, I'm just here. I'm just here. I will wrap my arms around you and keep you safe. But there's something that's blocking you. And I don't know whether you're feeling guilty. You've got nothing to be guilty with from her passing, that is for sure. But there's virtually something that you're guilty from the week leading up to her passing. She's showing me the week before was quite confusing. There was people coming at you with information, and some of the information was incorrect, some of it was disturbing, and some of it was, I think, scaring the bejeebers out of you. And I think all of that combined, and then Mum passing, I think that you feel that you're guilty about something, and there's nothing that you did wrong. I have to pass that on, because Mum is saying there is absolutely nothing that you did wrong. In fact, she's, it's more about you did so much, and with so much, like, she's more than appreciative, and she loves you dearly, and this guilt that's going on has to take a turnaround, because there's nothing to be guilty of. If anyone here tonight, like including yourself, Jennifer, if you're stuck in any way, shape, or form with any issues that are going on, whether they're from past or whether they're current situation, please book in and have a full reading with me, because I'm apart from being a natural born psychic medium, I'm a qualified psychotherapist, I'm a qualified holistic counselor, I'm a qualified spiritual intuitive healer. I've done a lot of study over a lot of years, so I can combine so much into my readings, and I help people in many, many different ways. And what I love is combining when I have a message from spirit, but when I can also help you, with other things. And the deeper those readings are, the more value it is for you, the more value you can still start seeing, wow, if I can just change a bit of this, or change my thought process here, or change some of the things that I'm doing, then it's more about going on a journey and you embracing that journey, rather than being stuck in a rut, or, in Jennifer's, in your case, I feel that you're stuck within this guilt. And I feel that not that you're too scared to take a step forward, but it's like you don't know how to. And I say that with the greatest respect, my love. It's like you don't know how to, because you feel like you shouldn't. Okay, Spirit has just said to me, it's almost like you feel like that you shouldn't be happy because Mum's gone. Mama's saying she'd prefer to see you happy. She would prefer you to stop all this, her wording, stop all this rubbish about, you didn't do enough, because you did. Okay. And I have to draw your attention to, it's almost like a red with a bit of pink. She's showing me like it's a rose petal, but quite a few of them. But the colouring is not a red rose, and it's not a pink rose. There's a colour in between, and I don't know what that colour, the meaning for it is you, but she says, just remember what that colour does for you. So it might be something in you that you wear. It might be a favourite lipstick. It might be something that she's putting that forward. So I have to, I send that to you with love, and please let me know how you go with that, because, mum's a beautiful soul. Okay. Okay, Topeka. Will I do higher education next year? Darling, you can do anything that you choose to do. I think you've asked because I think you feel there's something that's going to stop you. And whether that's, to me, whether that's, I think, a little bit of worry around finances, because I feel that finances haven't been your friend for probably the last 8 or 9 months. So I feel there's something that's gone on there. I'm not sure if you lost your job through COVID, or something just changed in amongst the financial spectrum for you, because it seems like not enough is coming to your pocket. So yeah, so I think that that's maybe what you're thinking of, what's possibly going to stop you with your education. I'm here to virtually say, if you start putting a few pennies away now, you're assured in, is the saying that I get from Spirit. But it's also too more about I think Spirit is showing me that the higher education, I think you're worried that you're not going to get through the first year of it. I think your worry is more about, I'm going to take it away from finances for a moment, although they will play a part. It's more about, I think that you have a little bit of a fear factor that you may not be able to excel the way that you want to, or be able to give, what is the saying? Spirit's saying a few things to me. It's almost like you giving the time for yourself for study, and you being able to absorb all the information, because there seems to be a little bit of a blockage there, that sometimes you don't retain all the information that you read, or all the information that you're given. My advice to that would be, as Spirit is saying, my dad is very choice when he says some things, and his word is, knuckle down. And if you have to read things 10 times, read it 10 times. So that's what he's coming through with, because it seems to be, and no disrespect at all to you, but it seems to be when you read something, you don't retain all that information on the first go. So you're a person that needs to read something 2 or 3 times before it sinks in up here, and there's perfectly nothing wrong with it. Like, there really is nothing wrong with that. And if you think that you're slow on the uptake, just take, in your study hours, if you put aside, if you're told to put aside 2 hours for yourself, put aside 3 hours, because I think that with you're better if you read things a few times to absorb it better. Yeah. And I think that you'll be absolutely fine. But yeah, get rid of that fear factor of, will I make it through the first year of higher study? Because it's kind of setting yourself up for not an excuse to fail, but it's setting yourself up to not believe in yourself. And I the more you say that, the more you would put it out to the universe, and the universe will give it to you. Because so you need to sort of say, I'm fine with it all. I'm going to get through this, because give yourself a challenge and do it. Yeah. Because the minute you give yourself a challenge and take that on board, you also then take on the ownership of it. Okay. So I hope that helps you, and please let me know how you go. Again, I'm just jumping down to the end to have a look. Sorry, just bear with me for a sec, guys. Joe, I've just seen a question in regards to when I connected with your mum. Absolutely, she did. It was more about, do not take this the wrong way, but it's more about, you gave her a blessing to say it was okay to move on to her next journey. And once she knew that, once she knew that you were giving her your blessing, it was okay for her to go. Okay, so there's a smile there. Okay, and I mean that with the greatest respect. Okay, Sonia. Why am I funny? Look, people that second guess themselves, you overthink too much. You're giving your mind too much to overthink. And when you're an overthinker, at times you just create other things, inside your head, and your subconscious then takes over overnight, and then the dilemma gets bigger and better overnight with absolutely nothing else changing in it, if you know what I mean. So it's more about, stop second guessing yourself, listen to your gut feelings, because your gut feelings are 99% correct. Okay. And I say that on TV because it's true. It's actually more than 99.5% correct every single time. So not just one time, not just two times, every single time. This is, your gut feelings, your own intuition is that in tune. Okay. So please don't be frightened to listen to yourself. But as I said, the more you overthink it, the worse it's actually going to get. Yeah. It's just not going to do you any good. So I have to virtually say that. Oh, I just jumped one. Sorry. Alison, I'll come back to you. I just jumped one. Sorry, Clarissa, I did just jump past you and I've just gone back to you. Certainly, you're asking about career. Okay. There's a theme tonight. Everybody seems to be scared to take a leap of faith. And I know, look, that sounds a bit general, but that's what's coming through from the spirit. And whether it be that, we've everybody, including, Melbourne's Victoria's had such a bad run. But I think everybody's everybody's fed up to the back teeth with COVID. But in saying that, there's a lot of businesses that went under COVID. There's a lot of businesses that make changes through COVID. There's a lot of people who got who lost their jobs or got lesser hours through COVID. It's more about, what do you want to do? I'm looking at your picture, and you seem quite a young, lovely young lady, but you're questioning another one. You're questioning your ability to be able to take on something that's like, there's a burning passion inside your mind. There's a burning passion of what you want to do. But I think there's a little bit of the crossroads with you seems to be more about, where do I need to go to get into what I want to do? So I feel that there's, Spirit is saying confusion, but I don't believe it's confusion as such. I think it's more about being bombarded with a lot of places that you can go to be able to seek where you need to go. So I think that's maybe where some of the confusion has come in. But it's also possibly more about you having a few little ideas up your sleeve on what you want to do, but actually not making a complete and 100% decision on where you want to see your life go. Now, when you want to really come up with some answers on that, I always find the old-fashioned part of sitting down with a piece of paper or a book, tuning into yourself, like having no TV on, no phone on, no nothing, and just sitting there and asking yourself what you are truly passionate about doing. Because when you do that with a quiet mind, you'd be surprised at what you write down. And I probably want you to try that, not for me, but for yourself. Because I think that's where the decision lies with you, that you've got a couple of things up your ideas, a couple of ideas up your sleeve that you'd love to do, but there's a pressing point in your mind going, well, if I do that, then I can't go and do that. And if I do that, well, then I can't go and do that. But if I do this, I might be safe. It's not about being safe. It's about believing in yourself and taking a chance and finding your right path, finding what you're passionate about. Because when you do that, you're giving yourself the best opportunity to succeed. And I see you I see you virtually in probably 12 months' time, the smile on your face gets bigger, but it's more about you find your passion, you get involved in it, but you get involved with it so much that you're so pleased with yourself that you actually took the time to work out what your true passion is. Because I think there's just a bit of a roadblock there. And I think once you undo that roadblock, I think that you'll be perfectly fine. Okay. I just feel that burning desire is just kind of taken over. Anastasia, I'm going to answer your question right here. I can't see YouTube while I'm doing the live. I do go back onto YouTube a bit later, but I can't see YouTube as I'm doing live because the program that I use has virtually all the comments come up beside on this program. So if you can jump on here and put your question, that would be fab. Okay. So it does stream live on YouTube as well as here, but yeah. That sounds like a broken record. That's the 7th little troll that I've just got rid of. That's a lot, isn't it? 7, and we're not even 45 minutes in. That's just crazy. Clarissa, just let me know how you feel about that, and we'll have a bit of a chat about it if we need to go further, and possibly if you're stuck in that decision of what you want to do and how you can achieve it, maybe book in for a private reading and we can sort that out, because then I can spend more time with it. Okay, Alison, my love, I think you missed out last week from memory, or the week before, because there was just so much going on. So thank you for your patience. Can you tell me if the universe has it lined up for me to move? If not, when, or anything from spirit? Okay, Alison. I actually want to say to you, universe lining up. We're still in Mars retrograde till I think the 9th of November, for memory. And it's kind of throwing a bit of a span on a few different things in people's lives. More so, I want to say that with that, it does throw off people who are that embrace the moon and embrace meditations and understand, like, all the retrogrades that we have. Unfortunately, the Mars one does kind of throw out a bit of doubt. It throws out where you, even if you fully believed in yourself, it'll give you a day or two where you really feel challenged. You sit back and kind of go, oh my God, like, I can't do this, or I'm so tired now, I really can't move forward with this. This is all to do with Mars retrograde. So we have what are we now, the 28th of October. So we still have a couple of weeks, because I believe it finishes on the 9th of November. Having said that, if anyone wants to put the 9th of November in their calendar, that's more about when you wake up, or depends where you are in the world, when where you're watching from tonight, but it's more about the time zone. So waking up on the morning of the 9th of November, you should feel a sense of a newfound energy. You should feel that if there's a problem or an issue that's been festering, you should be able to understand and embrace an outcome for it. Sorry, my leg's just got a cramp in it. I've got a cramp for 29 hours in one leg. It's driving me nuts. Sorry, I went off track there. But it's more, if people can keep that date in their diaries and just kind of write down what they feel and what they can express from themselves on that day. So that's the and so, like, it's a whole 24-hour thing on the 9th of November. So yeah, just keep it in mind in your diaries. But Alison, I think you really have this desire to move. And I think you've put so much energy in saying that I want to move, I want to move, I want to move, that you haven't embraced some of the things that you have come across that you can possibly move to. And I say that with respect. It's almost like you're, when I have to use another example. When we if we've got a big function or a wedding or something to go to, and we say, I have to go out and buy a dress, or I have to go out and buy new shoes. You go out that day and you find absolutely nothing. Nothing is going to work for you. Yet on a day when you're not looking for that, you'll see hundreds. It's the same sort of thing with property. I think that you have looked, and whether that's on the internet, because I see this constant scrolling, these pictures going like really fast in front of my face, and that's, if you're looking at a lot of those and trying to find the one each time you want to scroll through and look, I think you're just getting a bit lost. And therefore, I want to say to you, with the greatest respect, that part of in here now has these expectations of, I want my kitchen to be this, and I want my lounge room to be this, and I want the sun facing this, and I want this. It's kind of too many expectations. While all that's going on, right now is not the right time. Absolutely not. Take a breath. If you take a breath and sort of like go, do you know what? I might have a look on Saturday. I might have a look on Sunday. If you go in with that sort of attitude, there's going to be more that's going to be put forward to you. Okay? What I do see, though, is that nothing will actually happen till about January, to be perfectly honest. I don't see it right now. I really don't see it right now. And I think that when you step back and start embracing about that, you're just having a little bit of a look, and you're not getting into that mad, oh, I've got to look, I've got to look, I've got to look. It's more about something will just pop up. But then, of course, it's negotiations and stuff like that. And you'll actually negotiate a cheaper price. I'm hearing that you'll be able to win them down a little bit. Not huge amounts, but you will win them down a little bit. So that's, you know, that's an added bonus. Because if you can get, you know, even a couple of grand off it, although I see the figure 5, so I'm thinking if, you know, the 5 grand off it, you know, more bargain to you. And it's more about going in there and seeing something and just going, do you know what? I love this house, but I know I need to fix this. And what would you think of, you know, if we knocked 5 grand off? Because I think if you say it in a way, you know, the others will come good. Yeah. I hope that helps, and just let me know. Okay. Melissa, hello. How are we this evening? I hope you're well. And I hope everything's going okay. I hope you had a pretty good week. Here's one, and I'm pretty sure I've got rid of him now. But yeah, it's just so annoying. You know, if they want their 5 minutes of fame, you know, I just gave it to them, and hopefully that person will just go away. Okay. I just jumped another one. Shaz, good evening. I don't think I've seen you on my live either. I don't think. If I have, I might have missed you. If I have and I've missed you before, I'm sorry about that. So let's have a look at what's going on. Okay, I feel that your boy's got a really important job, and I feel that he is involved with many. And comes across in the line of work. Spirit's kind of directed me to he comes across a lot of people in all walks of life. So they're saying to me, so in all walks of life, which means that could be anyone from homeless people to, you know, your big corporate executive type things. So he deals with a wide variety of people. You're asking if he's going to be safe within his job. Like I'm not quite understanding why you're saying safe, but from what I'm being shown, it's more about, you know, I don't see military as such, but I do see a uniform. And if that's the line of work he's going into, it's very rewarding, and each day is very, very different. I don't see anything that can. I'm not saying Spirit does not show me anything where they're gonna say, do you know what, he's going to get harmed in the next, you know, 3 months, or something's going to happen in that. I mean, not that Spirit will come through with something like that. Spirit would normally come through with saying something like, you know, start watching, you know, your footsteps in 3 months' time, or, you know, make sure you got your back covered. But Spirit aren't coming through with anything like that. So to me, because I'm not hearing that, I feel that everything's going to be perfectly fine. I feel that he is he feels like he's the junior. I don't know why Spirit says that, but it's almost like mentality-wise, he's kind of saying to himself, well, I'm the junior, so I have to do everything by the book. Doesn't matter if you're junior or senior, you still have to do everything by the book. So I think that someone has possibly talked to him about shortcuts, but he's not a person to take shortcuts in whatever he does. So, and I feel like he will excel. I have no qualms. I don't understand why you're saying safe, because I have no qualms about him being hurt in any way, shape, or form. So, Shaz, I hope that helps you. And yeah, please let me know. Okay. Just add another comment onto the feed. So if I don't see it tonight, I'll certainly see it a bit later. Just so I can gauge, you know, where everybody's at. Am I going the right direction? Nita, I think you already know the answer to this question, because it's almost like in the past you've taken, you know, 2 steps forward, 10 steps back, and there's something that always seems to get in your way. And with the greatest respect, I think it is your own self-talk, and I think it's your own self-belief, and you just have this bit of a judgment call on yourself, and sometimes it's a little bit harsh. And when those comments come from yourself to yourself, that's what I think takes you the 10 steps back, because every time you get a bit of confidence in yourself, this self-doubt creeps in, and you say a few things to yourself, and all of a sudden, bang, then you don't have that confidence. So I feel like at times, with respect, that you're your own worst enemy at times, and that's no good, because deep down that you're a good person. There's certain things that you want to do in life, and there's actually a certain career path that you want to take. I do know from past readings that, if my memory serves me correctly, that you have been put through the ringer and you have been disrespected in workplaces. It's about you setting boundaries. So when you go into a new line of work, set those boundaries. Make sure you have a lunch break. Make sure, if your hours are 9 to 5, you might give them 10 to 9 till the maximum 10 past, but in hindsight, you don't have to. This starting early, working through lunch, finishing late, no one pats you on the back for that. Boss sits back and goes, well, I'm not paying her for that, and I'm getting more out of her, like she can keep it up. A boss is not going to stop you doing that. I did that for years, only because I thought it was beneficial for myself. But at the end of the day, I was kidding myself, Yes, I got more done, and in sometimes when not so many people were around, like if I started work at 9, but I got there at 8, nobody was really there, I felt like I was getting more done, and I felt like I was, achieving a lot more through the day. But in hindsight, who was I achieving it for? It wasn't for me. Because the next day I'd go and do the same thing. So I wasn't achieving anything for me. I was achieving that for the boss. Boss was the one that was capitalizing on that, not me. So I want you to think about that, because it can set you up for a lifelong, story of everywhere you go, that you'll always give them extra time. You'll always work through your lunch break. If they're saying something important, that it's important to them, but so's your lunch break, so's your health, so's your, work-life balance. So it's about time, probably more than yourself on here. We all think about that, and we all kind of take that on board, yeah? Because it's really, really important, okay? Mary, God love you. I don't think I've seen you on one of my lives. Marydale, and to anyone else who may know her, she's a beautiful lady who does a lot of things out of the kindness of her heart. And I have a lot of respect for you, Mary. I haven't seen you for a very long time. It would be great if we can catch up. I don't know when TV is in. Might do another function, so to speak, where we might be able to catch up. Or maybe something else. Who knows? But I do appreciate you jumping in on my life, and appreciate your presence. So thank you so much for that. And it's not a spirit guide for you. It's one of my spirit guides that jumped in and said, as much as you're a wonderful lady, at times you're too much of a giver. And I know you're a giver. But I wouldn't have said too much of a giver, but because I don't think there's anyone that's that I know. I mean, I don't know all your stuff, but I don't think there's anyone that's ever taken advantage of you in the last 10 years. But Spirit seems to tell me that a few people have in your lifetime, but you kind of know how to handle them now. So good for you, because the worst thing that anyone can do to any of us is to take advantage of us, because that's when we start losing faith, in ourselves. But I really can't see anyone taking advantage of you. I mean that in a good way. I mean that in the nicest possible way, my love. And thank you so much again for joining. Steffi, when will I get reconciliation, living separately from April? Steffi. I have to be very honest and say that Spirit has jumped in with where I don't see a smile. So if I'm not seeing a smile, that's telling me it's not going to happen in the next couple of weeks. It's actually telling me it's not going to happen. I mean, we're pushing November. I actually don't really see it until Christmas, but you need to push. And that doesn't mean that you need to be demanding. It's more about you need to put your best foot forward. You need to come up with different strategies. You need to come up with a different, and with the greatest respect, you need to come up with a different way of talking, with a different way of trying to reconcile, because there's some things in the wording, what I hear from spirit, there's something in the wording that other parties are twisting. Now, when people twist your words, it just gets lost in the whole motion, and therefore things can go belly up. And I'm finding that spirit is showing me like a rows and rows of sentences, and I feel that some of the communication has not gone across the way it was designed to and the way it was meant to. So spirit is kind of saying, maybe if you're wording something yourself and handing that over for someone else to type or put together, there seems to be paperwork being put together, then you need to cross-check everything. You need to make sure that what's going out from someone else's office is exactly what you're saying, because to me, things aren't being delivered in the way that they're meant to. So yeah, but I do see smiles, virtually coming after you start sort of working out what that wording is, because yeah, as I said, incorrect wording. Once you kind of get abreast of that, you will then be putting the right foot forward, and spirit says it's only then that the other people and the other parties will understand what you've been trying to say all along. Okay, so yeah, just have a good look at that and let me know. I'm sorry I keep half standing up, but I have this cramp and it's driving me nuts. But yeah, so Steffi, I hope that helps, and let me know how you go, and let me know how you feel about that, and if it resonates with you. And I shouldn't be complaining about a cramp, should I? It will be there. Okay. Okay. Now, another one. How ordinary. A John Smith. He's very creative, that person, isn't he? John Smith. If you're watching John Smith, I just love your creativity in your name. Not. Shows me your intelligence. Let's not go there. Let's continue on with great vibes. Melissa. Would love a reading on career, please. Okay, so career seems to be the theme tonight. Okay. Melissa, what the first thing I kind of got with you is that you, I didn't like the word pushing, but I wanted to say to you that you've been in your mind probably pushing for something else to happen, and kind of wanting more out of the role than what you're doing. I think COVID played a bit of a play in there, but not completely, because I also think too that you were looking to embrace something else, and trying to embrace something else, you kind of lost your way a little bit, if that makes sense. And I say everything with the greatest respect, but I want you to kind of, I had a lady similar tonight that I asked her the same thing, and I think Spirit is kind of directing me in the same path as you, as when you've got a few things in your mind that you want to do or that you'd like to do, you don't have to, you could be just thinking, they could be just fleeting thoughts. But if you sit quietly with yourself and have no noise all around you, and ask the universe to, embrace, like sit there and sort of say things like, I want to understand my true passion. I want to know what my calling is. I want to know, guide me in the right direction. You will start to hear things, but also too, whatever you hear, you also start to, hear your intuition come into play. And some of the answers are coming from you, not necessarily from a spirit. Some of them are coming from deep inside of you. And you start writing, or when you start writing, that's when you kind of look at it later and go, oh my God, I thought of that ages ago. Why is it still there? It's still there because it's embedded in you, that because you understand that's what you want to do. So I think with you, Melissa, there is just a couple of, Spirit is showing me there's a couple of things that you're fantastic at doing, but there's more to you than meets the eye. And we're saying that it's all about embracing the true you. And I think that you've, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but there seems to be a lot of times where, even when you were younger and coming into your teenage years, that you stood behind people. I think you're frightened to actually speak up on a few things, because I don't know whether you're frightened of being judged. I don't know whether you're worried about if someone thought that you were loud or something to do with that, but you stood behind others. It's now time for you to come out from there and stand and go, do you know what? This is my time and this is what I want to do and this is where I want to head. And once you come to that, you then understand, you will kind of go, oh, now I need to know what I need to do to progress to that. So that's where I kind of need your mindset to be sitting, because Spirit shows me that, you have like, 2 or 3 different opportunities coming forward for you, but it's the ambition part of you that I need you to focus on into what you're so passionate about. What can you bring to the table to enhance yourself, to enhance your own well-being, to move that forward, yeah? Because that's where it seems to be headed for me. So, yes, just let me know. That'd be great. Another. Oh, I'm not going to get too worried about it. For anyone who's just joined or whatever, if you can please like and share the page, and then, or just Miss Tony, like and share the page so others can maybe grab some guidance out of anything that's going on in their life. That'd be fantastic. Plus, it will bring joy to others that may not be able to watch it tonight live, but might be able to watch it a bit later. Tony, I just drew a couple of cards for you, and I want to say to you, look, I think your work scenario will get busier. Whether they offer you those extra hours, I'm unsure of, because Spirit is showing me a question mark. So I have to look at that and say that, okay, Spirit has just said something else in the regard of, if you overhear something. So I'm being told that if you overhear something where others are talking about that they feel that the area is getting busier, they feel like the area is getting more strength, and they feel like something is going on, that's your cue to kind of go, do you know what? I need to go and put my hand up. I need to go and offer myself. I need to go and say, I'm willing to do more. It's when you put that foot forward that people know that you're ready and that you're able to do those extra hours. Because I think there's a question. I think Spirit is showing me the question mark, because I think some people have doubt in you in completing the extra hours. Although I want to say to you that you're quite capable of doing that. I don't know where the talk has come from others saying that they don't think you can complete the hours, because I think you can. And that's why obviously Spirit is directing me to let you know that as soon as you hear like a little whisper of changes, get in there and virtually say, do you know what, I want to do this. And I want to have like, first crack at the whip, so to speak. So it's more about like, owning up to who you are and what you want to do, and then you'll be respected for it. So I don't actually see much going on in the next 4 to 5 weeks. So I think it's still a little bit of a way off. Excuse me. But I think also too, by week 3 you'll start to hear certain things, and that's what I want you to put your hand up and say, hey, I can do this. Yeah. So that'd be great. If you can let me know how that sits with you and how you feel about that, that'd be awesome. And yeah, I'm going to say it again, like and share the feeds. Like and share, like and share. We're all about loving here. Okay, Ellen. Been having a lot of dreams of mum and dad lately. Are they trying to tell me something? Okay. Can I say something with all due respect? And I don't know that if I've read for you before. If I have, and I haven't recognised your name. I'm sorry. You know, I try and remember nearly everything. Probably one of my downfalls doing that. I actually want to say to you that what I hear, what I hear is Dad's no, it's the opposite way around. I'm going to fight with spirit. Mum's a bit of a go-getter. Dad is, I don't want to say he's over strict, but he kind of went for a few years doing everything. Like he dotted his I's and crossed his T's, dotted his I's and crossed his T's. He made sure that kind of nothing was out of place. And because that's what I hear from them, then I want to say to you that that's the message that he's passing on to you at this point in time, is making sure all your I's are dotted and all your T's are crossed. So I'm not sure what you're going through, where you may be coming up to reading a contract or renewing a contract with work. It's more about going through it with a fine-tooth comb. Also, too, property has just jumped into my ear, that there's something going on with property, and Mum's having her as the go-getter. It's more about don't lose your opportunity on the word property. So I'm not sure if you're looking for somewhere to buy or if you're selling your property, and that may make sense with the contract. Interesting that Mum and Dad are coming through very, very differently. So I feel then their personalities are very, very different. But I have to say to you, Ellen, that in all due respects, you having the dreams about Mum and Dad, if you remember anything else in the dream, write it down, because you'll look at it and you'll understand where it fits into your life within 4 or 5 days after having that dream. So generally when spirit comes through to us in our dreams, they are trying to give us a message, and sometimes it's very concocted in a way that, you know, most people won't understand. Even in the line of work that I do and many other psychics do, we hear cryptic stuff, so they don't give us everything in full sentences. They give us bits and bits and bits and bits, and we've kind of got to go, okay, well, that makes sense with that, and that makes sense with that. So with what I'm hearing them say, it's, yeah, Dad's more about, please look at dotting your I's and crossing your T's. You probably do that anyway, but not to the degree that he did it, apparently. And Mum is the go-getter. Mum is like, you know, if you see something that you want, go get it, and you have that personality as well. And it has served you pretty well, probably up to now. I think probably now you kind of hit a bit of a wall, and I think that's why, you know, they're coming into your dreams and trying to, you know, give you some guidance. And I think in a way that you have doubted a few things that you've heard, and so I think that you're just after a bit of clarity on that. But yeah, certainly let me know how that goes, and how that resonates with you, Ellen. And thank you so much for joining the live tonight. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to scroll past these little trolls. Okay, and look, Bree, thank you very much for clarifying that. I did feel the feminine energy, which makes sense about him being gay. Yeah, and that's why I said it in the way that I said, that it was coming through with the female energy. But yeah, I have to say, I mean, if you don't know what that yellow is, I mean, he came very through with yellow. If it's not the color yellow, then I have to look at the other way that spirit shows things. So, you know, the ray of sunshine, the person that lit up a room, the person that was always, you know, like, not loud, but, you know, vivacious and fun loving. I mean, if that suits more with the yellow rather than a yellow object, then that would that would mean, because that's, you know, as I said, you know, before, someone else, spirit comes through with cryptic things sometimes. And it's more about, you know, I have to, what I see, what I feel, what I sense, and what I see in the cards, I have to put all that together. And in lives, I have to put it, you know, all together very, very quickly, yeah? So if that makes more sense, then yeah. But yeah, just let me know. That'd be fabulous. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Bree. Yeah, yes. I know, Andrew. I think I've got about 9 tonight. It's driving me crazy. But that's okay. Yeah. And Jacqueline, look, if you're still here, Jacqueline, you will be okay. You'll be more than okay. Yeah. You know, I see that a mile away. Okay, Topeka, I've already done a reading for you. I'm just going to scroll past and see if there's other ones. I will come back to you and answer the question. The short answer to your question is not right now, but there's reasons why. Okay, so but I just need to move forward on a couple here. Okay, Gemma, I have to jump to you. Okay. Gemma, I have to ask you a question. What are you actually searching for? Pop seems to say that, again, I say this with respect, when he just jumped in my ear and said, stop living in a fantasy world, I don't want you to take that the wrong way. That to me, from Spirit, means that when you were younger, Pop used to read you some books. And in reading some books with you, it was more about sometimes when you were younger that you used to feel that you're one of the characters. And that always brought a smile to your face. So Pop is kind of saying, don't fantasize and go back and read those books and put yourself in in those books today, but kind of go and understand the message that it gave to you at the time. So the message that it would have given you at the time, if I'm reading this right, is more about you embrace the character when you put yourself in the book. He as a person reading was very expressive, very animated, very he was very good at doing that. And even if he didn't have a book in front of him, he was very good at reading stories. He was very good at not necessarily making sure that everybody had a laugh, but being able to, I don't like the word exaggerate, but being able to almost perform in a way, of reading very, very well. And I guess that's why you kind of embrace putting yourself, as one of the characters. So the message really for what I get from that to you is more about looking at where you want to go in life and maybe look at it or write something that's a little bit of a story, but put yourself in that story, and the way the strength and how powerful you felt younger when you're in those stories needs to prevail today. So if you're going through a bit of a rough patch, call upon the inner warrior or a warrior character that may ignite the inner warrior into you, and to embrace that character and have that strength to move forward and have that strength to maybe get over a couple of hurdles, is what I hear there. It's more about, finding your true path, but not being scared of it, because there's something that is now telling me that you've got a little bit of doubt. Not a lot, but a little bit of doubt. But when that little bit comes in, you don't want to be that warrior. You don't want to overstep some things that people say. So, yeah, I'm just kind of hearing, work out how that felt like as a child when you felt empowered about being, a character in the book. Come back to just being empowered with who you are today, because Pop seems to, as I said, Pop seems to have this expressive way of delivering a story, and not that he exaggerates in real life of telling a story, and not that you do either, but it's more about embracing each situation and looking at it in a different path, if that makes sense. Yeah, just let me know how you go with that, Gemma. And I have to say to you that Pop is a bit of a character. I can see him actually up on a stage, like telling stories as such. So, like I see him as a very good storyteller, but it's more about also to write your own story. Go on your own journey and write the path that you want to follow, because you will follow it. Why? Because it's written by yourself. Okay. Candy, thank you for that little message. That's great. Yeah, Gemma, just let me know how you go with that. And yeah, it's nice to have Pop embrace his own talent as well as your own, because he's a pretty good character. Oh, thank you, Stella. They're actually the shortest I've had them for a very long time. So anyway, but thank you. Hello, Beck. How are you? Let me keep going. I finally caught you live. Any good news for me, please? Oh, Tammy, I don't know how long you've been watching for. It's good that if you ask a specific question, please, because it's just easier on a live feed. You know, generals I could go on for an hour or two just on one general. It's really good. Tammy, please, if you're still here, can you jump back in with a specific question that you want answered? That would be really, really good. Because there's probably, I want to say to you, there's probably a lot that you want answered, but on a live feed, if you've got a burning question that you really want answered to, just let me know, because I do believe and I do feel that there is a lot of answers that you're looking for. Okay. Lisa, it feels like someone sits on my bed at night. Can you tell me who it is, please? Wow. Okay, Lisa. You haven't, if you feel they're sitting there, you haven't tried to speak to them. I have to say to you, please don't ever be worried. Well, I just thought someone else might touch me then. Don't ever be worried if you feel that there is someone sitting in your bed, or if there's someone in your room or whatever have you, because spirit can't harm you. Spirit is energy, and all the movies and the TV shows and everything that's out there that, you know, that do all these fancy things with spirit and all that sort of stuff, spirit is energy and it cannot harm you. I cannot reiterate that enough, because people are, you know, get scared of spirit for that very reason, that there's too many shows on that virtually say so, and spirit is not. It's complete energy, and it's always you know, like loving energy, so it's never ever going to harm you. But I have to tell you that the person that I'm being shown that sits or comes and visits you, I won't say that naturally sits on your bed, because I think there are a few places in your home excuse me, is, I have to be very careful with this one, because it seems to be a friend of yours, and it seems to be a person that lost their life quite quickly. And generally I normally have to be very careful when I hear that, because it could upset you. And I feel that you would truly love to embrace this person. And I feel that you're actually quite sad that they're gone. And most people are sad when they lose a loved one, for sure, but there's something particular about this person. And there's what I'm being shown is there is a really beautiful connection, and there's nothing that you could have done to stop that person going, is what I want to say there. But I also want to pass on to you that this person in particular, I don't want to get over personal, because it is a live feed. You feel at some point that you let them down, and I think that you carry some guilt about that. And I don't believe that's true for a moment. I really don't believe that's true in hindsight, because what I'm being shown, if someone has gone so quickly, there's actually nothing anyone could have done, in all honesty. So I think you shared a lot, because I'm getting a really good smile. To be perfectly honest, Lisa, if you can inbox me maybe a bit later, because I think it's quite personal. And as I said, when someone passes so quickly, it's normally a bit it's normally, yeah, just something that I don't feel comfortable with airing on a live feed, if that makes sense. If you can, that'd be great. And if I can answer you later tonight, I will. And if I can't, I'll certainly get to you tomorrow. But I feel also too that with that person's passing, that you've been through a bit of a turmoil with them, and there's some healing that you've started to do on yourself, which is working. But I feel like also too that you're a bit stuck. I think that you feel that you can only go so far with that healing, and you seem to have kind of stopped and are a bit stuck with that. So let me know how you go, Lisa, and yeah, and let's touch base. That'll be good. Hello, Joe. I'm on the money there. I'd like to be on the money sometimes. I like to sit on it. And no, I'm just kidding now. I'm just playing now. It's it's nice to know that, you've taken the time to say that, because there's a lot of times that, I don't mind giving my time to do these live feeds, because, I am all about helping as many people as I can. Yes, there is a lot of people, in hindsight, that can take me for granted, but I don't look at it in that sense, because I still keep looking at it as if, I'm possibly helping people that can't afford to come to me or whatnot. But if anyone, wants a deeper reading, then sure, book in with me and have one, because, some of the questions that I get, and I hear so much that I can't stay on the one person time and time again, to keep answering, so many questions, if that makes sense. But thank you, Joe. Am I in communication with my twin flame? But the quick answer to that is, I actually don't believe so. I with respect, I believe that you think it is, and I think that you can feel certain energies come up when when the two of you are together. But I don't believe that it's truly a twin flame. I think that there's a deep soul connection, but I'm not hearing from spirit that it's a twin flame. So I hope that's not too crucial for you, but there's something in that that's still very meaningful, though, because on a soul connection, you still have a beautiful connection, and you'll always have one another's back. You will always embrace one another. You'll always be not in one another's pocket, but you'll always guide one another in the best way forward, if that makes sense. So I think a soul connection is still pretty damn good to have these days, because if people who have none, they certainly suffer. Anyway, she was my greatest fan. I was a netball and basketball player. Well, see, and this is where I love that Spirit show. I mean, she just showed me this thing about basketball and netball. I couldn't, because of Spirit, showing me so quickly, I couldn't work out. I mean, I was a netball player myself too, and I couldn't work out whether it was a netball court I was seeing or a basketball court, because they're a little bit different, of course, and I couldn't work that out. So thank you for clarifying that. Brilliant. Oh, for God's sake. John Smith. Block, delete. Block, delete. Okay. Okay, Jenny, I actually want to say to you that when we already have, and this might be some good information for a lot of people, when we have passed over loved ones already in spirit, and we lose another one, virtually about 24 hours beforehand, it can be a little shorter. Sometimes I've had my relatives hang around for 3 days, because they've all come to greet someone, and this is what happens. So any relatives that are in spirit, if somebody else is going through a rough time and they're on their way of transitioning, then all the loved ones will come to that point and they will help them transition. They'll be there to make sure their transition is smooth. They are there to embrace them, to virtually take them on the next journey with them. And it really is so very, very beautiful that family members, and even if they were, and I say this with the greatest respect to anyone who has lost anyone, even if family members have been fighting in this realm, when they go to spirit world, they're certainly not fighting, because there is no time limits. They don't know whether it's day or night. They don't even know what day it is, but they kind of go back and rejoice their childhood in a way, and everything is just free and easy. So no one is in any pain in spirit world. So if someone passes of a painful death, like in spirit world, it's not painful. They virtually just a younger version of themselves in spirit world. And I admire spirit when I've had other family members that have been quite unwell, and I know they're going to pass, and I sit and I watch and I see I see certain things move, whether it be a curtain, whether it be a picture on a wall, whether it be a photo, whether it will be like, a sheet on on the person, or a blanket or something or other, or a book opens up when no one's touched it. You know what I mean? All those sorts of things. And then I can feel each and every spirit coming into the room, and I kind of go, well, you know what? It's now time. And I know, and I've sat with other people who have asked me to go and give blessings to people that are passing to help them transition. And I do that, but I know I don't have to do, overly a great deal. I can say a poem, I can, give them like a divine blessing, and all this sort of stuff. Like I have a book with all this stuff that I've written over the years. And I can hold their hand, but then I can feel other people holding, their hand as well. And I tell them that their loved ones are here, and I tell them that, they're going to transition with their family and their loved ones. And it really is, again, with the greatest respect that everyone who is sad with somebody passing, it really is a beautiful, feeling, and a beautiful way to send someone off, just knowing that other family members are there to transition them in onto their next journey. And I'm blessed with doing spirit work, and I'm honoured to be able to hold someone's hand also too, to help them transition and to let them know that it's okay, for them to go. Because if they're in pain or whatever, well, you don't want them really, staying here, do you? It's a it's a lovely journey, and as I said, like I'm blessed and honoured that I can, do that, and get people through. And then it's not about me saying to the family straight away that I'm going to connect you with spirit and all this sort of stuff. It's about just making sure at that time that the family that are still left in this realm are actually okay with that, and just getting them to understand. Yeah. So thank you, Jenny, for your question. But yeah, I have to say that any family member that you had pass, there is other family members, and I keep getting shown the number 5. So I don't know if you have 5 already in spirit, or 5 that you're just referring to for this particular question. So because they seem to be showing me the number 5. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Joe, thank you for that validation. I appreciate it. I did have a feeling it was Mum, and the pearls were. I was very proud of her pearls. I think it took her a while to get to buy her first set of pearls, if that makes sense. Gemma, I think in a backhanded way I've responded to that, but I also want to pass on my condolences, especially if the funeral was today, and you couldn't go and see him beforehand. But you know what? With the greatest amount of respect, he knows that he knows that you would have been there on any other given year, or any other, like, without COVID. He knows, silly saying in some sense, but he knows you would have been there with bells on. And don't feel guilty about not being there, because it was totally out of your control. Totally out of your control. And he 100% knows and admires you for wanting to be there so badly. Yeah. But yeah, he transitioned well, and I think I've already given you just a little while ago messages from him. Okay. He is a beautiful soul, like heart of gold, absolute heart of gold. Give anyone the shirt off his back. Says if he was still here, he'd continue to give the shirt off his back. And in saying that, and I don't mean to giggle when I say that, but that's it's the way I heard it. But also too, there's a particular shirt. Obviously, why he said that. There's a particular shirt that you know of from years ago that was quite a how does he say it? Like a quite a it's a He says things like talk of the town. So that makes me think that there was a shirt that was obviously a bit loud, and maybe people didn't think that he'd wear it, and he did. And he wore it quite proudly, and didn't really care because it was bright, it was, you know, loud, and that's kind of what he wanted to do. And it was more about, you know, I'll wear what I want type thing. You can't tell me what to wear. So he seems to be quite proud of a particular shirt, which is quite bizarre. Okay, Julie, my friend. God, haven't we known one another a lot of years? How old were we? 13? 13, 15? I can't remember, it's too long ago now. Julie, actually, while I've got you, if you're still here, I've done a massive lot of ring-arounds for my birthday, and because of COVID, every place I've spoken to, and my main one I can't have because it's too expensive, you have to have people sitting for a meal. Can't have finger food, can't have anything like that. People, a lot of places, a lot of venues are asking for, however many people that I have, has to have a sit-down 2-course meal. So that's getting way out of my budget to do that. So I have to reevaluate what I'm going to do. So maybe we can have a chat the next couple of days and butt heads about it, if that's okay with you. Okay, now, with your question, the short answer is yes, and I don't know why I'm seeing the number 8, because 8 just come quickly flashing in my face. I don't believe, though, there's another 8 to find. If you can let me know if there's any relevance to an 8 for any other reason, because 8 is coming through loud and clear. So 8 seems to be very significant, but I don't believe there's another 8 people to find. Your birth mother's side, it was extensive to a degree, but I really don't think there's another 8 to find. I don't think that's what the number 8 is coming through for. I don't know if it's your birth force number. I don't know if it's a number that you've had as a favorite number. I don't know if you've already connected with 8 or found 8 that you had no idea that existed. But that seems to, it seems to be very clear. I'm also being told to not give up. There seems to be a lot of digging. There seems to be a lot of time where you're sifting through a lot of stuff and trying to clarify who's who and where they kind of, where they fit into the mix. And I think that you've already spent a lot of time and effort on it, but it's all for good reason. Like, I'm not telling you not to do it, sweetheart. I'm letting you know that it's all for very good reason. And I feel that you are, how do I say this? I feel that you are embracing who these people are, even though that you haven't known them, like, you're in your life at all. But I feel like even at your age that you are so open to meeting and finding out more. You've got a thirst, and you've got a huge thirst of finding out their stories, and I don't know whether you can compile. I don't say to write a book as such, but I don't know whether you can compile and put something together about each and every one of them, because it seems to me that at least 4 or 5 so far have had a fascinating life, and I think that you're getting drawn into, and not because you don't want. I'm not saying you're being drawn into it and you don't want to, because you do want to, but it's some of their stories are really fascinating, and some of them have intrigued you, and that's kind of giving you a thirst for more and more and more. My answer to your question is don't stop, because there is still a lot more to find out. But I need to know where that number 8 seems to fit in. But the more you're finding out, and I mean this with the greatest respect, the more that you're finding out about some of the others, the more understanding that you're actually having about yourself and your younger year behaviors, if that makes sense. I don't mean that in any other way, but with respect and with love, because that's how it came through to me. So something to do with your behaviours. The more you're finding out about the others is giving you an understanding of your behaviour when you're younger. So that's a pretty powerful comment. So let me know how you sit with that and how that resonates with you. And let me know how you go, my love. That was actually good to hear. Because to me it's very enduring that others are saying that. So others are obviously, even ones in spirit world, are obviously letting you know that, yeah, some of your, and I'm not saying that your behaviours were wrong, but it's more about you getting an understanding about certain things that you did that you may not have 100% liked later in life, but you're finding out the reasons why now. So yeah, just let me know how that makes sense. Thank you. Oh, I think I've seen this comment. I'm funny. Can someone tell me why I'm funny? Is that because I don't know. Does that mean because I say it as I hear it or something? I don't know. Nita, thank you so much. I hope it helped. I really hope it helped. I got another one here. Thank you so much, Robin. Such a blessing, and you're so right about my self-judgment and going 10 steps back. I will be working on the guidance you have given me. Nita, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. It will help you because you're one of the people that know that I do say everything with the greatest respect, and I do hear, I feel, and I sense, and then I have a look at what the cards have said as well as. So so thank you again for your compliments. Okay, you know what, I get told all the time that cramps mean low magnesium, they hurt so much. Yes, I think I am a bit low on magnesium, but this particular so-called cramp, I thought it started off as a basic cramp, but it has kind of seized the whole side of my leg for hours now. And last night I have completely tiled floors. I walked the floor for almost 10 hours in bare feet, just trying to get rid of it. I saw my doctor in the street today and he laughed at me. He said, "You gave it 10 hours?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did," because I couldn't sleep and it was driving me nuts. So, and he just said, have you taken up running? And I said, "Oh, I doubt it." But yeah, we can't quite understand why it's there. But yeah, he took some blood. Said, "Come into my office." This is the conversations I have in the street. I see him in the street. He's like, "Come into my office and I'll take some blood." And I'm already on magnesium, so it's just a bit weird. But anyway, we'll see how we go. It is just a cramp. Debbie, I agree. I agree. Oh, and look at this big thing. So this little person who I'll give 5 seconds to, love spells, money ritual, get your love back, lottery luck. Now I've heard everything. Anyone who says they'll give you lottery numbers, horse race numbers, football scores, all this sort of stuff is not a psychic. That person is after your money. That person will promise you to give you numbers, and they can randomly, rattle off numbers. I could do that too. I don't, because it's not who I am. I say to people in all the numerology that I've learned over the years, if somebody wants to work out their birth force number, I always say your birth force number is an important number. So if you have an important decision coming up, I would say have that number in your mind. So my birth force number is 6. So if I was to I'm going to put a laugh. Since everyone thinks I'm funny, I'm going to put a spin on it. So if I wanted to have a hot date, I'd make sure I did it on the 6th. If I was, and my combined numbers are actually 369, and I have those numbers in my mobile. Some of the place where I live, the numbers add up to my birth force number. If you're planning to buy a new property or something like that, if you know what your birth force number is, then it could possibly be the number of the house in the street. Stuff like that. I always think the birth force number is really, really important. If you use it in lotteries or lotto, whatever, so be it. But I don't go around telling people that. So that idiot that was just trying to hack my page, he's promising spells, he's promising lottery numbers. I mean, come on. That's what to think about that. Anyway. Now I'm just going to scroll down because I can see that there's a lot of comments down the bottom, and I need to just... Okay. Good night, Stella. Hope you sleep well. Make sure you have a fabulous day tomorrow. Alison, yes, agree. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me have a look. I knew when Mum passed, a family came for her. The 5 would be, they were the 5th person from the same family who has passed. Okay. Jenny, thank you for that validation. I knew the 5 was really important because it kept flashing in my face. So I knew it was for something. So thank you for clarifying that. I'm going to come back to here. I was looking at the view of renting, did not think of buying, so I was renting the wrong direction. Pretty much, Alison, because I got the home would be yours, meaning that you could do what you wanted with it because it was all your property. So yeah, maybe reevaluate that sort of thing and work out how that will work for you. Because I always say. And it's not always feasible for everybody either, but if you're renting, you're paying off someone else's mortgage, and I'm not sure what the prices are under COVID, but there was also a saying a while ago too that what you spend on rent, it could be is virtually the same amount as paying off your own mortgage. So yeah, I would probably have a good look at that. Gemma, I had someone constantly touching my head hours before my pop died, and we wouldn't have even known he would. Yeah, well, that was Gemma. That to me, I look at that as a blessing because that was obviously not that you realised it, and it doesn't matter. Don't feel guilty that you didn't realise, but it was obviously a family member letting you know that they were passing through to come and transition him. So that's all. To me, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, absolute beautiful thing. Okay, I'm just having a look at the comments. Wow. We said goodbye to my mother-in-law today. I could feel my father and my sister all day today. I miss him so much. And Lindy, look, I have to say I'm very, very sorry for your loss, and I mean that from my heart because it's very endearing, and at times very painful when we lose a loved one. And as much as I can connect with them, in the realm, I still get upset when I lose someone too, because they're not physically in front of you. You can't give them a hug. You can't go crook with them. You can't do any of that. So I certainly understand how it feels when you lose someone, and how much, that you miss them. People seem to think that because I can talk to the deceased that, but you must be fine when someone passes. It's not the same. It really is. I'm blessed that I can do, and because I'm natural born, but in hindsight, it's not the same. I still feel, sorrow when I lose someone too. What I embrace though is helping someone transition, and that's just, holding their hand and telling them it's okay. As I said before, it could be a poem, it could be something that relates to them, it could be a story that they love to hear, all sorts of things. But sometimes, especially on a COVID, we haven't been able to do that as well. So again, I'm sorry for your loss. But if you got to feel your dad and your sister around, I mean, what a wonderful sensation that could have been, because they also, they would have been there for your mother-in-law to let her, or to, get her to understand that, they were there to help her on her next journey. But how beautiful it was that they stopped past, and that you were able to feel them. To me, that's a really enduring thing, and I love that when spirit does that, because it's just one of those things that, there's so many skeptics in the world, but people can feel, people can sense, and people can hear things where they go, oh, that's my dad, or that's my mum, and or it could even be, someone in the land of the living, that they might walk past someone, or be in a Coles or Woolworths supermarket, and they'll hear a whole sentence that their mother, father, grandmother, whatever used to say, and even that, you kind of look over, even that is a blessing from spirit, because it's something that, it's a whole sentence that they say. Excuse me. And it's more about, you then kind of say, do you know what? They're here, and I feel them, I love them, I miss them. But you embrace, you actually embrace that they're actually here. Yeah. So thank you. And again, I'm sorry for your loss, because it's, as I said, we all feel it. We all feel when we lose somebody. Okay, can you please talk with me? My real name is Tony Gottimer from New Zealand, and I have a question sitting on, and I've have a question sitting on my mind all day. Okay, what is your question? Let me know what your question is, and I will try to address it. We're pushing the 2-hour mark, so if you can get back to me, that'd be fantastic. Alison, there's a few things. There's your birth force number. There's your life path number. There's even, you can work out past life numbers, and there can and I've just forgotten the other one. There is another one. There's 4. I studied numerology, God, about 10 years ago. I don't often use it. No, I've forgotten the 4th one. I'd have to look back on my books. But yeah, there is 4, and to me, birth force numbers are very special for many, many reasons. Some people might choose, then, if their life path number is more important to them, then they can use that. Like, I don't make the rules. I mean, people can use, which anyone they can, or anyone they want to. So yeah. Numerology is very, very fascinating, because some people work out birth force numbers and life path numbers with the whole person's name, and including the middle name, and some people do it with just a first name, and so it all gets a bit skewy sometimes with the actual numbers. But yeah, so if you're a 6 sister, good on you. What's my favorite saying lately? Good for you. Because yeah, it's pretty special when you use the numbers like that. I actually was it last year, the year before? I can't remember now. I think it was the year before. I was as much as I was saying that, that hacker on the, so you don't give out lotto numbers and stuff. There was somebody in the office on Melbourne Cup Day, and I know that's coming up too. And I kept saying, I'm taking number 6. And they're like, why? And I go, oh, because it's just a number that I like. And they go, no, that's a donkey. No, it's not going to. I'm like, oh, well, I want to go number 6. And do you know what number 6 got up? And I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. And 2 of the clients came back to me and said, oh, my God, you must have won a fortune. I said, you know what? I didn't even back it. And I said, well, why? And like, why didn't you tell us to back it? And I said, well, I was sitting here saying number 6. It's not my fault. But yes. Let me have a look at this. My friend sent me a rainbow pic too. Rainbows mean my sister is saying hello. I see her all the time. Thank you. Oh, look, Lindy, look, I appreciate your comments. I wouldn't say I'm wonderful, but then I don't take compliments too easy. But I'm all about doing what I do, and doing what I know what's best, and yeah. I know I bring so much joy to others. It's just hard sometimes for me to swallow a compliment, but thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, Breezer. I can just see your other question. Started binge once you Wentworth and noticed the time. If I'm not too late to ask, do you see me having any more children? Not right now, actually, I don't. However, 2021, there's going to be a couple of things that change for you. I've just drawn a couple of cards, sorry. I have to giggle at myself. But also, too, another child will bring you so much joy because you've been wanting. Somehow, I want to say to you that sometimes the want and the desire is too strong. It's overruling other things. When you stress about wanting, you're also stressing your internal organs, and you're also putting stress on yourself, where that's the only thing you're thinking about. Instead of embracing the moments, the only thing you're thinking about is, will I fall pregnant this time? Change some of that thought process. I don't see it for 20, but I do see it for 21. But I do. It's not going to be early in the year. It's going to be like a lot later in the year. So yeah, next when you get over this year, and because there's a few little hiccups this year, when you get over those and everything comes back to a bit of normality and Christmas is over and done with, focus on embracing the love that your partner shares with you. Focus on spending like quality time, and stop focusing on, will we have a bubs this month, next month, whatever. Let all that go. Like, release all that and just relax into every single thing, because it will come, but it won't come when you're under stress. Okay, I actually see 2. I've got to be honest. I see another 2. But yeah, I don't see them as twins though. So if you're thinking about having 2, then yeah, because the number 2 came running to my face. So that means if 2 is running to my face, it's not directly in front of my face, which that would tell me that it was twins. It's more about 2 in short proximity. So all this time that you've been focusing on, I need to have bubs, you're forgetting about the embracing of how bubs is conceived. And if I can say it that way, you're forgetting how to enjoy that moment. So stop all that stress. The stress is doing you no good, and it's doing your body no good, because it's kind of playing havoc with a bit more in your body than what you realize. So too much in the mind, my love. So stop. Stop. That's what I want to say there. Oh dear. I just think that's funny. Oh, okay. Well, you ended up with 5. Okay, so you're hedging your bets there. But the color scheme is not bad. I'm saying that with a smile. Okay, saying that with a smile. Desley, thank you so much for joining me tonight. If everyone that's still here, if you can please like and share the page. I know I sometimes get a bit anal in saying that, but there's other people who can't watch the live as is, and there's many people in the world who will embrace that something that one of you guys has said is happening in their lives, and they can get guidance from, and the answer may not be directed, at them as such, but they get some guidance in anything that kind of relates to them, because I feel that there's many people in the world that need a bit of that, and not everybody can join the lives. I understand that, which is why I kind of ask for everybody to like and share. Jacqueline, if I don't get to pop your up, good night to you. And it's always a pleasure. You don't have to thank me for my kind words. It's always a pleasure, my love. I'm blessed that you come and join my lives. It's been a while since I've been able to be in your presence, so to speak. So I thank you for joining in. I thank you for having the trust in me as well. Okay, I'm going to go on to Lynn. And I just want to touch on a couple of things briefly with you, Lynn, that's come flying through. Is that you've gone through some upheavals, and you've gone through what I want to say. There's a few dramas around you. Not, and please don't take me the wrong way. You're not creating those dramas. The dramas seem to be, in and amongst around you. But you have had the ability. You have had the ability to push some of them aside, but others have kind of stuck in your gut, where you've kind of gone, I don't quite know how to deal with this. I'm here to say that you might. Okay. So Dad is saying it this way. I have to say it as I hear it. You might have to go through a little bit of heartache to get past the drama. So I don't know if that actually makes a whole lot of sense to you right now, but he's saying that it will. So you have to endure a bit more of this drama, but you will get through it. And because it's not directed at you personally, but you're surrounded by it, that's probably why you have the endurance to kind of keep up with it a little bit longer. And what I mean by that is, it's not, so far you haven't taken a lot of it on board, so far that you've kind of pushed a bit of it to the side, which is a good thing. And I have to say to you that the little bit of heartache that you will go through is more about maybe standing a ground to say, I don't kind of need all this around me. I don't need this in my life. And not pushing people away, but trying to sort of like set your boundaries. When you set boundaries that something is not okay, like, so if you're meeting up with some friends and you're hearing the same thing over and over again, and it's kind of interfering with your life, then you need to kind of say, do you know what? I can only do this once a month now instead of once a week. So you need to start setting some boundaries for yourself. And Dad seems to say that from past history that serves you well. So if he has said something to that degree, that's more about that you have endured this before, and you know how to kind of cut the strings, so to speak, yeah? And you don't have to cut the strings for good. You just have to start setting boundaries for yourself, where every communication that you have, or every time that you're going out and doing things, that you're embracing that time, you're enjoying that time, rather than coming home going, oh my God, I really don't want to do that again. So Dad says you need to, he says it in a way that he comes across saying you have to stand up for you have to stand up for yourself more to be able to embrace that successfully. But I don't think that you have to stand up as such. It's more about, I see it that you just need to set some more boundaries, and you need to be clear in what space you need for you. Excuse me. And you need to be very clear on kind of who says what, yeah? Yeah. because it just seems that there's just certain things that just keep happening. Okay. Okay. All right. You do need to kind of take a bit of control on that, and it's. I have to say this, and I know I repeat myself when I say it with the greatest respect, but sometimes it sounds a bit harsh, which is why I have to repeat that I am saying it with the greatest respect. It's more about you have to understand and own your own self-worth. There seems to be you're doubting your own self-worth, and when you're doubting that, you're allowing these other people to just continue this drama in your life. So if Dad is saying that in a way that he's looking out for you to kind of go, do you know what? You have the endurance to get through this because you've done it before. But I want to say to you, it's more about understanding and owning your own self-worth, because when you do, when you know that you're worth more than that, or you're worth some more happiness and whatnot, you'll go out and you'll get, you'll get it. Yeah. So yeah, I have to kind of touch on that. Yeah. I'm not getting many boundaries and I'm worn out with it. Well, it's not about getting boundaries. You have to set those boundaries yourself. Yeah. Because the boundaries, you're the one that actually sets them. Yeah. And with an answer, well, okay. Most of my family are narcissistic people, and it's, I wonder if I'm, if I actually belong, because I'm nowhere near that. And so I understand that the harshness of trying to understand and be with a narcissistic person, but there is a good book out. I'd have to look it up and maybe text it to you or something, that it teaches you all about narcissistic people and how you can't take their stuff on board, because they will never own up to what they are saying, and what they are doing is incorrect. But you then can learn how to brush it off where you don't internalize it, because while you're internalizing everything that a narcissistic person is saying to you, you start believing it. Yeah. So I have to reiterate that, because it's tough. It's not easy, because you will take it on board. And, I'm natural born psychic, but, I'm an empath as well. And I feel things. And when someone narcissistic, says things and whatever, yes, it hurts. And I used to when I was a lot younger, I didn't kind of understand, where I had to put everything. It used to really hurt because I used to internalize it, but you can't do that, because if you internalize it, it will destroy you. They will say anything they want to make themselves feel better. That's what they're all about. Okay. So you just have to sort of go, do you know what? In your own mind, you say, well, they're narcissistic, and I'm not going to take anything what they say on board, because I can't afford to have myself think the way they do. And you leave it at that. Yeah. Because yeah. Okay. I'm going to wrap it up, because I've gone over the 2 hours. I'm certainly not going to do 3 hours like last time, because it's a bit too long. Thank you for your last time and your answer. I want you to know I appreciate your help in helping others and what you're doing. Universe may ask any guidance for me on this time. Did I not answer you earlier, Natalia? I think I already have. Just let me see if I can work out. Okay. Okay, I have to, this person has been, okay. I just want to come back to this person, because they asked before and they didn't send me a particular question. You just want to ask about motherhood. Okay. 20 years old. Yes. Yes, I got that was your real name. Yep. Ask for help. Yes. Yes, I know you're from New Zealand. You're really wanting my help, but what do you... Okay. I just need to touch on this one because you're asking please, 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 and all this sort of stuff. And that's okay, and I get it. But you said you want to know about motherhood. What is it you want to know about motherhood? You're 20 years of age. Like, are you wanting to know if you're going to be married and have children? Are you wanting to know whether you're going to be single for X amount of time in your life? Have you been told that you can't have children? I mean, there's a wide variety of things I can answer you on motherhood. But I certainly need to know what your actually direct. If you can please send me a direct question. I am going to jump off very, very soon. If you can please just ask me a really specific question about motherhood. Yeah, that'd be great. That would be absolutely great. Okay, Natalia, you just joined a few minutes ago. Okay. Maybe it was someone else with a similar name. Natalie, where are you wanting guidance in? Because what I feel with you, it's not a specific question, but what I feel with you is that you're stuck. I feel that you have. I feel that you have some options to change. I'm just going to get rid of that because it just covers my face. Because everyone wants to see my face. Oh, I think that's funny. Not really. I'm being funny. I'm being so funny with myself tonight. That's because I keep cramping up. And I haven't had this many cramps for a very long time in my life, so it's just driving me mad. So please forgive me for all my ups and downs on the chair. So, Natalia, back to you. I feel like there's a number of things that are going on with you. I feel like that you have probably 20 questions that you'd like to ask. And 20 answers that you need to come back to you, because I feel that there's a lot of confusion going on in your mind. I feel also too that your career is you can go two ways with it. There seems to be a broken path where there's something over here that looks inviting, but over here is the safe side. But I want to go to the exciting part because I feel that it will embrace you, not you embracing it. It will embrace you. It will give you more knowledge, more stability, and even more income. So there's something to the right on this path that's right in front of you, and it's kind of there for the taking. So I kind of want to say to you, go in and really listen to with your ears. Really perk up when someone mentions something, either about if you hear the words restructure or rebuild or growth. As soon as you hear those words, jump on the bandwagon, because I feel with you there's a pathway that's opening up, and it's kind of like leading me down a path of being able to give you more stability, because I feel like part of you being stuck is because of you've had no, and forget COVID for a minute, but it seems like in previous employment you've had no structure, you've had no growth, you've kind of not floundered because you don't know what you're doing, it floundered in a way of it hasn't progress for you in any way, shape, or form, if that makes sense. So it's more about that line of stuff that seems to be sort of like, bothering me to a way that the opportunity is there, but you just haven't been able to see it yet. So, but yeah, up here, there seems to be, 20 things going on at once. So if you can kind of break those down as well as, and know that you can't answer yourself for 20 things going on at once, you've got to slow down the mind a bit and try and address one at a time, because this here is just, going just a bit too quick, which means that at night when you're going to sleep, all this is going around your head. So nothing is getting sorted. Nothing is getting sorted. So I kind of need you to look at that as well. Okay. So I hope that helps you. Yeah. Okay. I am going to jump off after this, because otherwise it'll just be drawn out again. I want to know when I'm going to have a baby. I had a miscarriage and just wanted to know if you had any Okay. All right. Now, I want to say to you that so it's a touchy subject for many, and obviously for yourself. So I'm very sorry for your loss. But I will say the message from Spirit is that you have to. We don't have to, but they like you to understand that when Spirit has to come in and take a bubs, either while it's being carried or born, being born or stillborn, they take it for a reason. They take it so you don't endure more pain throughout the little one's life. It's more about the understanding of there was something not quite right. And I do say this with the utmost respect. When there's something not quite right, then you have a lifetime of struggles. And I know some children are still born with some issues that go on, but for some unknown reason, the Spirit is still able to jump in and take the ones that believe is a massive struggle for the parents. And I do believe and understand that, Bubs is being looked after, and Bubs, is fine. It just wasn't right to be brought into this world, and so that's why I say I'm very sorry for your loss. But please understand that Spirit was looking out for you, and I do see throughout your lifetime, I do see 3 children, and I certainly don't see them now, and I certainly don't see them for the next couple of years. But you will be a mother, and you will be a beautiful mother, and 3 little ones. I'm being shown actually 2 boys and a girl, and it's kind of like, how can I say? It's kind of like they will be kind of in short timing of one another. So they're not a twin, they're not a triplet. Short timing of one another. But because they will be so close together, the growing up part of it, I'm hearing from Spirit, will be adoring. It will be fun because they are all around roughly around the same age. So, that is something obviously to look forward to down the path, but I don't see that for a few years yet, because I also want to say to you with the greatest respect, is now's not the right time. It's certainly not the right time for you. And there is other things that you need to do before these bubs come along. So thank you for joining me tonight. I believe it's your first time. And if you can like and share the page, over in NZ as well, I welcome anyone from anywhere, really. So, my goodness. You're very welcome. A little bit heart-wrenching, but, very welcome. Natalia, you're not tiring me. You're seriously not tiring me at all. It's more about last week went on, I say I'm going to do 2 hours, and last week went for just over 3 hours, and now we've gone 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I was just kind of saying that, it's, you certainly aren't tiring me. It's more about, you kind of, because you're doing one after another, if people are asking for general questions, the general ones get, spread out to more, and then they keep asking for more, and I have to keep that like a little bit tight. So it's not about tiring me at all. It's more about, I have to try and get to as many people as I can doing a live, because it is done for free, and I don't mind doing it. If people have got more things that they want explained, or more questions, or more burning questions that they want, everybody is welcome to book in and have a reading with me, because we can get through a whole lot more when we can do that. And yeah, so I'm sorry that it felt like you had to say that, because you certainly weren't tiring me at all. Gay spin myself and others here on your live. Yeah, I try, Alison. it's all very it's all very engaging. It's all, and I embrace it. And do you know what? I've already put up on my pages. I am going to do a Christmas Eve and a New Year's Eve live for you. I'm also going to change the realms on those two particular nights, because I want you to join in with either a glass of wine, if you don't drink, a cup of coffee, or whatever the case may be. If you dress up for the occasion, even better, because I'm trying to arrange, just for you guys, some gifts to give away for Christmas presents, and some other giveaways, and there'll be a few surprises on both nights. So I'm trying to do something for everybody for Christmas, because there's a lot of people out there that have nobody at Christmas and New Year. And and sometimes it's fair, it's a part of the year where, apart from COVID, that a lot of people have lost a lot of loved ones, and if they're missing them more on Christmas and New Year's Eve, I'm going to try and make that the best that I can for you guys. Yeah, so I think they'll be two very fun and engaging nights. So I hope you can all join me for those as well. And I am looking at also to just a little bit of a secret coming out here. I'm looking for anyone that is in Sydney who might want to do like a live face-to-face catch up afternoon tea. I'm thinking of putting together an afternoon tea at a venue in Sydney, and and whoever might like to join, we can do that as well. Yeah, and that will be meeting and greeting, but it will also be some readings and a bit of fun along the way as well. Okay, Breezer, that's because you're too busy watching Wentworth. Thank you so much for your comment. Jenny, yes, good night. Yes, no problem for answering your question. It's all good. Carla, yes, I was doing readings. I do readings every Wednesday night from 8 o'clock onwards. I've been going 2 hours and 20 minutes now, so that's I'm heading out the door. So we're kind of done for this evening. So I hope you can join me any other Wednesday night, and I might also come in and do some Saturdays back again. But Saturdays gets a bit difficult because COVID's now lifted in a lot of places, and a lot of people are going out on Saturdays. So that's why I chose Wednesday to have a look at what's going on there. You set some reminders, great. That's good, Breezer. And maybe Wentworth won't be on Christmas and New Year's Eve. So again, thank you everybody for joining in. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back here next Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. for 2 hours. Have your questions ready. Sit back, have a cuppa or a glass of wine, whichever the case may be. Please always remember to like and share the page, which is always fabulous. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. I have about 5-6 different Facebook pages because I am qualified in psychology and holistic counselling and spiritual healing, all that sort of stuff. So I have like a separate page for psychic mediumship as well as my other stuff. And, of course, my Robin Hinson page. And, yeah, on Instagram you'll find me as well. So, again, I appreciate you all joining in. It's been a wonderful evening. I've been blessed to have met some new people on here tonight from a few different countries, which has been wonderful. And so, again, have a fantastic week. And thank you all so much for joining. And, yeah, keep smiling. See you next week. Bye for now. Bye for now.